how do you structure your day in private practice? And what's the average amount of clients somebody sees in one day? So like everything else, this is really personal to you. Everybody has a different bandwidth for the amount of clients that they see in a given day. Some people can see, they're like no more than 5 clients a day. And some people are like, give me 10 clients a day. I'll work 4 days in a row and I will take my 3-day weekend and be happy. So I want it really clear that there's no judgment about how you see clients. Some people are like, if you see more than 6 clients a day, that's unethical. You're going to burn out. Listen, everybody has different energy levels. I know people have lots and lots and lots of energy. And not only can they see clients, but they do online courses. They're speakers. They run a group practice. They do all of these different things and they have a really high energy level and they're able to really accomplish a lot of things. I think this is really dependent on your style. I think it's also, we can't assume everybody sees people for 1 hour. A lot of couples counselors, marriage counselors will see people for an hour and a half. So they're not going to see 8 people in a row. That would be very draining. So they may only see 4 people in a row or 5 people in a row or something like that. So I think it really depends on the style of counseling that you're doing. If you're doing EMDR, you're doing some kind of trauma work it might be too hard to see people back to back to back to back. You may need to give yourself some space between sessions. If you're seeing, high functioning adults coming in for, maintenance, right? You might be able to see 8 people back to back and it's like no sweat off your shoulders. You feel energized at the end of the day. If you're an extrovert, you may be able to see more people. If you're an introvert, you may be able to, really see less people and function with less people in your space all of the time. And so I think it really depends. I think a really popular model is to break your day out in 8-hour chunks. And let's say your limit was 7 people a day, that you see 3 people at the front end, have a lunch break, see 4 people at the back end, something like that. So if you work 10 to 6, you would see people 10, 11, 12, 1 o'clock, you would take your lunch break. And then that you would see your rest of your clients at 2, 3, 4, and 5. That is one way to do it. If you want to work 5 hours a day and we're going to go with 10 to 6 just because it's easy. My brain is, doesn't want to talk many, many, many different, paths. So 10 to 6, you only want to work 5 hours, but you need some space. So maybe you see 2 clients, you work 10 and 11, you break your day out for lunch, you see another client, you do some paperwork, then you see your last 2 clients. I think that gives you 7 hours, but you get the idea. Some people can see 2 people back to back, need a break. Maybe you don't need an hour break. Maybe you need a half an hour break. So maybe the first couple of clients that you see, I've considered doing this because just the way my schedule works, I don't necessarily always feel like I need an hour for lunch. I think 30 minutes is good. It kind of gives me enough time to clear my mind, but I don't necessarily want to get into another project. But if I have an hour, I'm going to get into another project. And then, that might not feel good. I've considered doing like 9:30, 10:30, break for lunch at 11:30. I like to eat lunch early. Maybe yours is a little later. That's okay. And then going and seeing people at 12 to, 5 or whatever it is. And so I think your schedule is going to be really specific to you. There's no right or wrong way. You want to consider some things, your own bandwidth for seeing clients, whether you want to see clients 4 days in a row, 5 days in a row, 3 days in a row, how long you want those days to be, and what you want to be able to do in your days. Do you want to be able to exercise in the morning? Do you want to be able to run errands? What time do you want to get off? These are all things I think are really important to consider when you're creating your schedule. I'm going to give you a tip in a moment about your schedule, but I want to take a moment to thank our sponsor, TherapyNotes. If you're looking for an electronic health record that's really full service, that can help you run any type of practice, whether you have a solo practice or group practice, an in-person, online, or hybrid practice, they're really the electronic health record for you. You can send reminders to your clients. You can do your billing. You can do your notes, treatment plans. You can do discharge plans, everything. They send you also wonderful reminders about the things that you need to do. And they have wonderful customer service. So I want you to definitely check out TherapyNotes. So one thing this was not my idea. I actually saw this in a Facebook group from a friend of mine, Jessica Tapana. She had mentioned that she updates her schedule every quarter. And I was like, that is brilliant. I never thought about that. I personally update my schedule like on my life circumstances. And so I just thought that was so brilliant. So shout out to Jessica. I'm going to tag her in this, that to let your clients know, like my schedule updates like every quarter, right? Just like school updates every quarter, life updates every quarter, and I can see it broken out, at least for my practice, like that August through December would look one way. I'd probably do not 3 quarters, but 3, parts of the year. And then January to May is one part, May, June, and July is another part. Because again, a lot of the times people leave for the summer, you have vacations, they have vacations, you have vacations, your kids are out of school, you want that to look different. And then fall comes in, the floodgates open and maybe you work more. And then as winter comes, depending on what it looks like in your area, maybe your schedule shifts. So I loved that. So I like to give credit where credit is due. So if you're, you've been in private practice and you're wanting to shift your schedule, maybe you start by letting your clients know, like every quarter, I will let you know what my hours are going to be. We'll, work out your schedule. And this is, going to work for both of us, basically, because you need time for yourself. You need a life outside of therapy. You need to engage in your coping skills, have social support systems, be able to go to your doctor's appointments and make money, right? You need to have a full life. And one way to have a full life is to have a schedule that works for you. Okay, I'm here most days answering your questions. If you have a question for me, please feel free to private message me or email me, and I am happy to answer all of your questions. I'll see you soon, everybody. Bye.